From turning just $600 into $130,000, making hundreds of thousands in just an hour and millions with an actual strategy, to losing life savings and getting margin called, this week we have it all. And it is my honor to present to you a trader who goes by the name of JWW2124. He's up by $944,000 on various Google calls, with his largest gain of $384,000 in Google calls with a strike price at $138 expiring in a week. And what makes this gain very different from most option plays you see in WallStreetBets is that when he bought the calls on March the 15th, Google was trading at $142, meaning that he bought in the money calls opposed to far out of the money like most traders on this beloved subreddit, and still made a ton of money. And you'll find out why he's one of the few doing this in just a moment, but first let's go 3 years back when he started by trading shares, scalping some AMD shares with his already huge portfolio, and then after a year he posted his first position on options, making 83% or $205,000. He continued trading options, stacking his gains, and that finally brought us to his most recent endeavor. He started buying Google calls after it decided it wanted to tag the 200-day simple moving average, which is in his opinion the greatest buy signal ever for big caps. He hammered some 138s expiring on March the 22nd last Friday after we spent an hour around 140 mark, but something just told him it wanted to continue its momo. All in all, he got lucky with the Apple Google news and sold everything during the morning pop at around $151, hitting a new milestone in the old Robinhood this morning as well, making an $881,000 gain in just a day and bring his account to $3,013,494.52. And here's his advice to anyone trying to learn how to trade options. Use YouTube to learn calls and puts. Much like learning to swim, the best way to learn is to just jump in, start small, see how options work and decay over time. Manage your risk. Buying weeklies is not a good way to invest money. He only buys them when there is an overreaction algo sell-off. When buying options, buy time and always buy in the money. Buying out of the money call options is a good way to go broke fast. Having that said, you need to have a game plan before each trade. He has an entry and exit price and will accept a 10 to 15k loss if the markets go south in order to risk a 30 to 50k gain. Sadly, most traders aren't that disciplined and don't even have rules. Like many, this trader's journey began with GameStop options and it eventually ended with a 200k loss and a margin call of more than $17,000. He goes by the name of ATAC03, and once he tried options he developed a taste for them. And even though at the time he was surprisingly making gains, it was enough to quench his thirst. His greed. Because when he made almost $50,000 in just a month, he wanted that imaginary $250,000. His YOLOing only increased over the years, and then just a month ago he posted a YOLO and a gain of 250k over 3 accounts, and that finally brought us to the story of loss, love and effing Mara. You see, he was playing Mara after his first 200k run on a stock that shall not be mentioned, so he knew how to lose money on their options like the back of his hand. That week he was anticipating a Bitcoin bull run, so he loaded up on Mara for earnings and then loaded up even more the day after and lost it all. 1,400 contracts expired worthless. Luckily he turned just 10k into 400k with Frog, Block and a couple others a week prior, and luckily pulled 300k out. The 100k left he turned into 200k in like 4 different accounts with Mara, and then he lost it all on Friday, hence the graph. He decided to take some Adderall and deep dive into Mara's numbers to see how he messed up so bad. Turns out he's an idiot who knew. Having that said, what do you think he did next? Well, of course he dumped like 50k into Mara calls again. One last YOLO. Either the kids can afford new shoes or they're gonna have to learn to scavenge food out of the school trash can. He's also trying to figure out how to move some of his ROF into display as well, and he'll probably dump another 20k tomorrow from his Robinhood and is riding this to the bottom or to a multi-millionaire. No in between. But you don't always have to gamble on options. You see, sometimes it pays off to be patient and just hold shares. For example, a trader who goes by the name of Snoop Walker is up by over 10,000% on Nvidia shares. He bought around 27 shares at just $7.75 for about $200. And as the stock slowly went up in the past 10 years, his position increased to a whopping $25,370.83. He even challenged people if anyone can beat his gain. And well, here comes a trader who goes by the name of Raniel, as he made a post saying, for that guy asking if anyone was up by more than his 10,000% on Nvidia, I'll raise you 20,000%. Now this absolute genius bought 151 shares of Nvidia on March 11th, 2011 at just $4.36. And if that's not ultimate patience, I don't know what is. Because more than 10 years ago he opened the position with just $657.91 and he held through more than a decade of swings as the stock slowly but exponentially rose to incredible heights, turning his measly $660 into $132,128.28. Sadly, he sold it a few times on the way up, because his original stake was around $1,500, but after a couple of big pops he was out, cause surely it can't go any higher, right? Well, if he held until now, his position would be worth around $300,000. Needless to say, most traders on WallStreetBets don't have that kind of patience. They want to make money quick, and the luckiest few are greatly rewarded for their risk taking. One such trader goes by the name of Savage, and he turned just 9k into $200,000 in 1 hour on Nvidia and QQQ puts. He usually doesn't YOLO use his entire portfolio, but he bought 8.6k worth of Nvidia 0-day sale expiry puts and 1.6k worth of QQQ puts right before his online college class, which lasts around an hour on Fridays. He was honestly expecting a loss of 2 to 3k, but did not expect the outcome. Luckily, he immediately sold his Nvidia puts and took out 40k for his student debt and car issues. Now he has been trading since 17 and lost 9k in total on Robinhood and other investment apps. But his puts decision was purely how a regard would trade. He had a bias that today will be red, and his trading plan was to enter 1 to 2 hours after open. And also today was Friday, which he usually sees as a sell-off day because no one wants to hold over the weekend. At least now that he got his gambling out of the system, he'll do the smart thing and restart his account back at 10k and put the rest in long-term investment. Now in some cases, traders get so lucky that it's completely unbelievable. One such trader goes by the name of Unlucky Chocolate 379, but he should probably change his name now to Lucky Chocolate because he turned just 70k into $1,139,163.75 on Nvidia calls, and it took him just 2 weeks to do so. But sadly, most traders aren't even nearly as lucky. Even if you gave them years, they wouldn't be able to produce a single gain. And while yes, some are lucky and turn 70k into millions, in most cases it ends at zero. One such trader who goes by the name of Brood Awake always thought eventually he'll get the hang of this and be financially free. But almost as soon as he started, his account took a nosedive, and now he's down by 99% or $74,282.16. And it's not like he started with 75k. This is years of deposits and trials, but yeah, he'd have a lot more saved up if he never tried to be an options trader. He has traded frequently a lot of different calls and puts over the years, but nothing in particular except SPY. And trying to consistently trade options became somewhat of an addiction and competition within himself, and it turns out he was self-sabotaging his financial situation. Needless to say, he's finally done trading options. Now, some extremely talented individuals actually have the ability to learn from their mistakes, the ability to completely turn their account around from a huge loss to an unbelievable gain. A trader who goes by the name of Niche Mathematician is now even up by more than 100% or $89,000, and most of that came from just a single well-calculated position. But before that, in 2015, he started learning about investing and thought he would become a millionaire. After 3 years, he started playing with options and had the first few wins with Cloudflare. But then, a year later, he lost 4k on some pharmaceutical company that claimed to have a cure for Alzheimer's. And then he swore off the stock market until the whole WallStreetBets frenzy. But in 2021, 2021 he jumped into Wish like a true regard and lost a bunch of money. That's the value of despair in this graph. In 2022 to mid-2023 he started selling covered calls on some positions. He bought Roblox because of Nancy Pelosi, Datadog and Cloudflare. He started learning about covered calls and cash secured puts, and after 8 years his account finally started to recover. From then on he started building a thesis about Robinhood markets as he bought long dated calls. They dipped on earnings, but he thought his thesis still stood, so he naturally bought more calls at the bottom, and here we are today. He's up by more than $100,000 and his position is worth the same amount of money as his account, meaning that he went all in. And last but not least, here is a trader who will never give up and is on his path to redemption. He goes by the name of Nitrous Express, and with his 40% gain in the past year, he decreased his all-time loss to just $41,000. The calls he made money off this month were on Apple, C3 AI, Boeing and Costco. And he's finally back after a long break of losing everything and saving up. Oh, and he's currently unemployed with only $2K left in his bank account. But what did he change to finally start making some gains? Well, he's been really focused on trying to time the candles and the bottom for the day and taking profit as soon as he's up a bit. Call him paper-handed Peter, he doesn't care, but treating every option like a game of hot potato as soon as he's up is working for him. Having that said, he is the tart who made his money back 3 times and lost it again every time. So now it's time to do it a 4th time. And if you want to see how to YOLO your way to $1.6 million, click on the video that just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any questions or recommendations, leave in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.